Do you also have a friend who's horrible at listening? My friend is seriously terrible at being a decent friend, if I could even call him that anymore. For context, my friend Dan and I basically grew up together. We went to the same schools, took up the same hobbies, and even sometimes dated the same chick. It was a small town, and there were more men than women near our age, so it was normal that your ex could end up as your best mate's girlfriend a month later. The only problem I've had with Dan is that he only really cares about himself. Every time I've leaned on him for advice, he would somehow make it all about him. One time I asked him if I should take the season off of playing football after getting injured, and he went on and on about how when he was young, he was able to walk off any injury. Well, I ended up playing another match and made my injury worse. But recently, Dan and I got into a serious fight because of our girlfriends. My girlfriend and I had been breaking out into arguments over the smallest things, and half of the fights didn't even make sense to me. For our most recent fight, my girlfriend approached me while I was on the toilet and asked, if we were on a cruise together and you left me alone for a while, and when you came back, you saw me holding hands with another man, what would you do? I told her to leave the bathroom because I was struggling on the toilet, but she got angry and repeated the question, saying that she wouldn't leave until I answered her properly. So I gave her the first thought in my mind, I would break up with you. I tried to reach over and close the door, but my girlfriend crossed her arms and leaned on it to keep it open, clearly unsatisfied by my answer. I begged her to give me a few minutes to finish my business, and then I would speak to her properly about her hypothetical scenario. She said, wow, you would break up with me just like that? You wouldn't even maybe check to see if I was getting kidnapped or something? I refused to explain further and kept my mouth shut, focusing on my bowels instead. She continued to complain and eventually slammed the door closed after calling me a jerk for staying quiet. After a few minutes, I exited the restroom and walked over to my girlfriend to answer her properly. I smiled and tried to hug her, but she just slapped my hands away, giving me the silent treatment. I got angry and left our apartment to go on a walk to clear my head. When I got back, my girlfriend had left, so I called up my friend Dan to rant about the situation. Instead of giving valid advice, he talked about how he's super happy that he and his girlfriend don't fight because she's so great and wonderful and sweet and smart and blah. Honestly, in that situation, who gives a crap about his girlfriend? I just needed him to agree with me that the fight I had with my own girlfriend over the toilet was stupid, but hearing about his awesome relationship made me angrier. So I hung up the phone while he was in the middle of talking about his recently amazing date with his girlfriend. Since then, I've given up on every fight I've had with my girlfriend until we broke up. But a few months after my breakup, I ended up meeting the girl of my dreams, and everything had been falling into pieces for me. At the same time, Dan's relationship started to get really rocky. He called me up to complain how his girlfriend had punched his arm in the middle of the fight and left a bruise, all because he had asked her to go to the gym with him. Instead of comforting him, I talked about my new girlfriend and how my relationship is great and how great it was to not have problems. Dan got angry and called me insensitive. I told him that I acted the same way he always did before. He argued that I should have told him it was problematic so that he would have had a chance to correct it. And now, he thinks I'm acting like a jerk for doing it on purpose when I know better. We continued to go back and forth until Dan hung up, leaving me furious. I later ranted to my girlfriend about the call, and she sided with him, saying that I should have been the bigger person. I was shocked and told her that she should always side with me in these situations. She gave me a weird look and explained, you were wrong for hurting him on purpose, but you don't have to continue being wrong. I realized how childish I had become inside. I called up Dan again to apologize, saying that all this time I thought he was a terrible listener, but I ended up becoming that same type of friend to him. I gave him advice on his relationship and told him that he can call me anytime he needed to, and we could both talk about problems together in a mature way.